What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I'm going to break down what's going on with the overall market and break down some very important levels on Tesla, SPY, Nvda, and the QQQ. I'm also going to break down what's happening right now as we're seeing the market getting a massive sell-off and why this could end up happening. But before I break down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm firstly not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So anyways, let's talk about the market. What's going on here? So this is pretty wild how this day ended up going through. Basically, SPY was pumping as it normally has been doing. It started to sell off just a little bit, and then in just the past hour, SPY went from 475 all the way down to where it is now at 471. It just touched the 470 area. So it all happened within an hour. We got this massive sell-off, and right now I've been looking at the headlines. I'm not seeing a headline just yet as to why this happened for any specific news reasons, but one thing that I just want to note is that there are market makers out there, and they do like to cause as much pain for people as possible, lots and lots of trickery. So this was just part of their little tactic to just screw people over. I didn't see signals for us to sell off until like it ended up starting to happen. The market was holding up very, very nicely. It was looking very strong for the majority of the day. Similar to yesterday, how it just held up throughout the entire day. But instead, this ended up happening. So this happened to happen not too far away from when the 17-week bill auction came out, but it was close to what the previous report was. I don't think that this is the reason why this happened, but the best thing to do from this point on is not really worry about if this news is going to continue to come out, if there is some kind of headline coming out, but I'm just going to focus on the levels on SPY, at least for the remainder of this video, and then we'll see if any headlines come out. Once again, at the time I'm recording this, I'm not really seeing any specific headline about any kind of piece of news that caused this. I haven't really seen that quite yet. I am seeing news, however, that's coming out that the market's falling. We'll see if anything else comes out later. But for now, let's talk about these levels. So on SPY, we're going to be watching this support right now. We have support around this 471.25 area. If we lose that, we're going to be coming all the way down towards our low. We have 470.4, then 470 flats. We got to try to hold this. If we lose 470, we're going to be on our way down to 468. If we keep holding, we try to push back up from here because it is looking like the market's getting bought up again. Watch 472 as resistance. If we get back above that, we'll be looking for a push for 472.75 and eventually 473. That's where we have the resistance from 2 days ago. So right now, I wouldn't necessarily say we're extremely bearish because we're still inside of our range. We're still actually at a higher level compared to where we were like 3 days ago, compared to Friday of last week. We're actually still within the levels we saw from Monday, so it's not like that horrible. But I just want to note that this sell-off was very, very aggressive, and this was just another form of manipulation, in my opinion. And we'll see what caused this. So SPY is still looking kind of weak. Watch that 470 support. If we lose this, 468 is coming next. We will see if that ends up holding. For now, just watch it carefully and see how it moves. On the QQQ, it followed the same exact algo. So the QQQ, this was holding up very nicely, but instead we got a massive sell-off as well on the triple Q. We saw this thing starting off at 410, holding up exactly as we expected. Then we got this dump back down towards this 404 area. But now we're seeing some buyers trying to defend. So it came very close to our support at 404. Watch this 404.75 area that's where it's trying to hold up. We also have resistance now at 405.7. And if we break that, we have this like previous support becoming resistance at 406.5. 407 and 408 above that. Right now, we're kind of shopping and kind of like shuffling in the 405s. Watch that very carefully on the triple Q and see if this thing can try to rebound a bit. It's still looking kind of weak, so just be very careful. If we lose 404, there's going to be a risk of it coming down to 402. So watch it carefully. Let's see if buyers try to defend it, and we'll see what kind of news comes out which contributed to this sell-off. Now, Tesla was holding up very nicely for the most part. It was doing very, very well throughout the day. You guys can see it was holding above this yellow trend line very, very nicely, and it's been holding up for the last couple of trading sessions. But now today, Tesla got smacked down and ended up losing 252. We had this gap down here that got filled, and I told you I would not be concerned unless we broke 250. Well, we're technically below 250. Let's see if Tesla closes below 250. If it does, there's going to be a risk of more downsides. You just want to be very careful, not looking the strongest. Now, watch and see how it reacts to this support. It's looking kind of weak right now. We just lost 250 on Tesla. Some news is going to be coming out. Something should be coming out soon. and we'll see what happens from here. We're back at 250, just barely trying to hold on. Watch resistance around 252. That's going to be our next key level. 254 above that. Then we have this zone right here around this 256.5 area. The yellow trend line around 254 is going to be our next resistance as well. And 258. For support, I want to see if Tesla could try to hold 250. If we fail to do so, watch this wick area at 248. If that fails us, there's 247. And then below that, we have this blue trend line. Excuse me, sorry guys. The blue trend line right here around this 244 area. And then below that, we have this imbalance at 241. So Tesla's looking kind of weak. Watch these supports very carefully. Just know that Tesla's not in the best of states. And we'll see what news comes out as time goes on. As far as Aapl goes, I just want to mention that Aapl also starting to sell off a bit. It was making attempts to rebound off this inverse head and shoulders, but now we're getting this big sell off. Going to be watching 195.6. If we end up losing that support, going to be looking for 195, 194.4, then eventually 193.5. As of right now, it's just barely above this support. So we're going to be watching to see if this holds us. The next level is going to be 195, then 194.4. We will see if this holds, at least for the time being. Now, although we have this inverse head and shoulders like structure that's trying to develop, trying to hold up, if anything, I would still be very careful with Aapl because it's still within its range. It's still below 196. If you want to become a little bullish, if you want to see Aapl rebound, you want to see it get back above 196 at least. It's actually holding up a bit better than SPY and these other tickers, but you want to see it get back in the range. As of right now, it's kind of struggling, so just be a little careful. Nvda got the rebound we were talking about, but then it got a big rejection after that. So it did rebound. It was holding up very nicely around this 495 to 500 area for the majority of the day. Then for the past hour, this just happened for the past hour, we saw Nvidia go from 497 all the way back down to 485. I warned you all that if we saw this thing lose 488, there's going to be a risk of it coming not just down to 485, but even all the way down to 482. So there's a chance Nvidia could sink a bit lower. Watch and see how it reacts to 485. If we rebound off of this, watch 488 to 490 as resistance. If we lose this, it's going to come down to 482, then 479. It looks bearish to me. It looks like it might actually break down. We have a very, very weak looking structure. So it looks like there could be more downside for Nvidia. Make sure you watch support very carefully. All right, guys. So I'll be updating you guys on if there's any kind of like news that comes out, if something happens. Crazy, crazy day so far. Market was holding up, and all of a sudden we got this very aggressive sell-off. And once again, we'll watch and see if support holds and see what headlines come out. Just be very careful, and we'll see how it goes from here. Anyways, with that being said, have a great day. I'm going to be watching the 30-minute 200 EMA on SPY for the time being. I'll be stepping away from the charts actually like really soon, but then I'll come back. We'll see how it goes. Do what you have to do, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again. Market to the moon because the long term is still very bright despite these short term fluctuations. And peace out.